Hello, this is Arnell Tanyag with Tanyag Company. Tanyag Company is a business advising consulting firm that specializes in helping passionate business owners double their income and grow their business while creating an ideal lifestyle. Today is about the topic, the ultimate guide in executing events to generate new business from your sphere of influence. This is especially really good for people who really want to generate basically referrals and introductions from the sphere of influence. I recently read an article where people said they can't predict referrals or introductions. I tell them that's incorrect. I really believe you can use events to generate referrals and introductions. So today I'm going to share what that is. Give you some good examples. A couple years ago, I worked with a realtor who got a Tides box with 7 couples, including her and her husband. And the other 6 couples were business partners or people in her sphere of influence who gave referrals. She spent about $500. She got 2 other partners to pay for it. Cost for about $1,500. The rent of the Tides box, the food and drinks. And from there, in the next 90 days after the event, she generated 3 or 4 referrals in 90 days and resulted in $30,000 in commission. And I remember the funny thing she said, "Arnell, I spent $500. I said, "Well, but you made $30,000 commission." "But I spent $500. She said to me. I said, "Well, you made $30,000 in commission." She goes, "Yeah, I netted $25,000. Another one, I had a client who actually did a chocolate tasting home buyers workshop last month. She combined her love of chocolate at the Royal Chocolate and a home buyer seminar for an hour on Saturday morning. Had about 5 or 6 people there. Out of the 5 or 6 people, 2 people showed interest, followed up. Another one a month later came to her, so she's actually working with 3 buyers. She has another set one in July. So in what she's doing, she's inviting people who want to buy a house in the 30, 90, 6 months out, and she's asking her network or sphere of influence, does she know anybody who wants to buy or sell a house, and sending out invitations and calling them and having them actually show up. It is phenomenally awesome. I mean, if she does this consistently every 4 to 6 weeks, she's going to get business out of it. Another one, I have a client right now that who's a real estate company that holds a monthly first-time home buyers. They do it 9 months of the year, and so what they do is they have a monthly home buyer seminar at their office. They average anywhere from 6 to 8 couples, and they've been generating an average from either 2 or 3 buyers. But they're known where people actually send them people. They've been doing it for close to about 2 years, and it's been really successful. This event is like a professional event, but it trains their sphere of influence and know that they have it. And then secondly, they have a couple agents on board that their agents are even using the home buyers seminar as a way to invite, cultivate, and talk to the sphere of influence, which they're now getting referrals and introductions. I had one of the I think in one of the Brian Feeney system, they recommend a client appreciation event where you rent a movie theater, and invite a bunch of your clients and invite a bunch of friends. They do that once a year. I recommend you could do events every 4 to 6 weeks, and you can vary it up. You have to really have a guide, and you have to have somebody help you do it. But it is proven to work because we've done this many years ago with several financial advisors, several realtors, and they produce a tremendous amount of results. I have another example of how an event worked to generate from the sphere. Some realtors, what they'll do is they'll do a housewarming parties. When somebody moves into a new house, 45, 60 days out, they'll do a housewarming party. The realtor, the mortgage person, the P&C agent will contribute. They get a caterer. They send about invitations to the database, the person who bought the house. They invite the neighbors. They usually pick up an average of any 2 to 3 deals from that, and it's pretty prominent. And they pick neighborhoods they want to farm, pick neighborhoods where the ideal house is, the neighborhood is, and it's really another way to generate new business from the sphere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share what I call 7 levels. I'm going to share what I call the 7 secrets or 7 items you have to do when you want to, in the ultimate guide in executing events to generate new business from your sphere of influence. Number 1 is use the 7 levels of communication, the communication pyramid from Michael Maher. He wrote the book, The 7 Levels of Communication. He has a communication pyramid that you use as a foundation to execute your events. The thing I love about his whole book, he actually has a science and art of it. And the reason I say that you want to use this as a guide, his communication pyramid, because he talks about influencing and informing. I call it marketing to influence, marketing to inform. He talks about events. That is one of the key part of the communication pyramid that is designed to influence. And then he talks about stuff that is designed to inform. But when I share that with my clients, this communication pyramid, and I explain to them, a lot of people today are spending too much time informing, but not too much time on influencing. So I say you have to do a combination of both. You have to inform people, you have to market to inform, but you also have to market to influence. If you do both, and the thing I call why the art and science is the science he's laid out in the communication period, and then the events, you can tailor it to the type of clients you're looking for or the target market you're in. So you can choose it. So for example, I know a financial advisor, he does work with people who do $1 million and above in assets, and he does unique events, like he does a fashion show, a private jet to a specific fishing hole. Because his target market, they're fluent. So he knows how to basically set up the event that will attract other people in that sphere of influence that invite people. It just depends a lot on knowing that the events are to influence, and then you can also market it through the network, but you also have to basically, I believe you have to understand it and have a good understanding of how to apply it and use it, because you don't want the event to be an event. You want an event to generate business. Number 2, the events are primarily created to generate new business, not to socialize, hangout, and fellowship. I see a lot of people who do a lot of events right now in the Hampton Roads area, and a lot of the events are just not designed to convert. They're just that people think if I just throw a networking event or a personal event about clients, I may get some business. Well, random strategy doesn't mean it's a strategy, or random hope. So I always tell people when you do events, you got to remember it's there to generate new business. Doesn't mean you can't socialize, doesn't mean you can't hang out and fellowship, but it's designed to generate new business. So don't forget that. And make sure the events appeal to your target market. It's all about them, not you. We used to do, when I used to track different business professionals, I recognized a group loved fishing. So, I created a series of fishing trips, like striped bass fishing. Invited a bunch of people who love to do it, and I did pick up business out of it. It was because I looked at the target market I wanted to, what things they enjoyed, and then I just created the event or 10 events, invited them, and asked them to bring people, and it worked really well. Number 3, there's 3 types of events you want to create. Number 1 is events to get your network to give you more referrals and introductions, or events to increase retention and top of mind awareness. And the last one is a combination of both. Again, there's events that get your network to give you more referrals and introductions, or events to increase retention and top of mind awareness, and combination of both. So I always believe when you do events, you want to do events that have multiple results. So I always look for events that have a combination of both. One time I did a chocolate taste and invited all the women who had referred or introduced me business over the last quarter. This is probably about 6 months ago. And I had about 12 or 13 of them. Then I had my wife there, my daughter. They had a chocolate tasting, and I took my son around, and then I paid for it. It cost me about $225, but all the women in that room, they do give me introductions and they do give me referrals. So it was a thank you. And some of them were clients of mine. It worked really well. It was pretty exciting. And from that group, I still get ongoing referrals. Number 4, events can be simple and bring value, but does not need to cost a lot of money that you can create. Such like, for example, I do a business owner growth forum. It's the 3rd Friday of the month. It's for business owners from 8 to 9:30. It doesn't cost anything. They come. I do a realtor and affiliates growth forum. It's the 1st Friday of the month at 11:30 to 1 at Simpler Fresh Cafe. I just ask the people who attend just to pay for lunch. That's because I don't get charged for the food. So I average anywhere from 15 to 20 people, sometimes 10 depending on what season is, and sometimes 20, 25. And, it doesn't cost me a lot of money there, but I call it a professional event because I do a speaking event on different topics, and we do a roundtable discussion. Another thing you can do is I've seen people have like once a month lunch, dinner, and drinks where they invite a client, their spouse, and a significant other, or they ask those people to meet people. I've actually had people have a cook at their house, invite some of their clients and ask them to invite some of their friends or their neighbors. I've actually had people attend a personal professional event your clients can network to be excited to attend, and they will pay. For example, like down in Norfolk, there's a glass studio in the Clash Museum that's on the third Thursday of each month from 5 to 8 p.m. Costs $5 a person. So they do glass studio, they have food. I mean, and there's a great group of people. There's always events that doesn't cost a lot of money. That's exciting. Like there's an event over the summer at Phoenix Movies down at the base where every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning, they're free movies for kids. So one of the things I'm going to be doing is sending a bunch of emails out and say, hey, look, here's some free movies for kids. And I may pick one day and say, hey, if you do come, I'm going to give you $15 for food and drinks for your kids. I mean, so there's just things you can do. I pay $15, but the movie's free. It's just first come, first serve. So there's just events that can be simple and bring value, but doesn't cost a lot of money. Number 5 is create events that are already set up. Attend events that are already set up, and all you have to do is invite people. I've noticed like Top Golf has been around. They have a platinum membership at $250 a month. I tell somebody that is the best venue for events. You pay $250 a month, and you can play golf all the way up to 5 o'clock, and you have a spot. You know, it doesn't really cost you any money, but then people have to pay for lunch. But I mean, if people play golf from like 9 to 12 and they pay for lunch, I mean, you just swing the balls around, kick the balls and stuff like that. It's a great event. Then there's another one called Taste Tidewater Tours, where they have these buses and they drive to breweries and restaurants, and you see it's like $35 or $40. I mean, it's already set up to win. I mean, you can't beat that. It's phenomenal. It's already set up. There are events in Hampton Roads that are already designed to help your sphere of influence bring people to you. I mean, there's just two. I mean, I have a bunch. Like there's one that I'm looking to do is a vodka tasting at Chesapeake Bay Distillery. They do a vodka tasting in the little distillery out in the oceanfront. $7 vodka tasting. You have like 3 or 4 shots of vodka, and you just bring food. I mean, it probably costs you $10, $12 at most, but it's already set up. You've met for an hour. It's a unique event. I went to check the place out. I mean, I think I can get a bunch of people there. And it's just a great way to get other people to introduce you. I think that'll be phenomenal. Number 6 is make sure events have a results-oriented process. What that means is the events have to be designed to generate new business. A lot of events that I go to, I always see what's the purpose, what's the process, what's your plan, what's your strategy, what your tactics. And like one of my clients set up events, and it's amazing. Some of them don't ask for my advice or counsel me or ask me anything about, hey, how should they set that? They set the events up and go, oh no, I didn't get anything in return out of it. I said, we need to talk about it. You have to have a process. You have to reverse engineer the events to produce the results you want. And how you know if it's a results-oriented process, you have to ask yourself, what are the results I want from this event? How am I going to achieve those results with these events? And what is my plan and strategy and tactics? What am I going to do to get me the results? I mean, I call these type of events impetus events, because what they are is the impetus to a catalyst that speeds the process up. So I actually have a written process and how do you create these events, because most of my business predominantly is word of mouth or referrals or favorable introductions, and it's designed around these type of events. Number 7 is set your schedule up at least 90 days. So your events are scheduled on a 90-day schedule, and you track the results. It's better to have some type of consistency or not. The biggest challenge is that some people will do one event and then never do it again the next year. Like I have monthly events every single month, and it builds momentum. The difficult about the events is I have to make phone calls, but I do get business out of it. Now, if I bring on other staff, they'll make the phone calls. But the amazing thing about the whole process is it's consistent. These type of events generate business. The thing is, I recommend you do it for 90 days so that you can actually plan it for 90 days, get some consistency, and then probably by the 6 weeks, look at the next 90 days, because you're going to take in consideration if there are any holidays. You're going to take into consideration is your area seasonal, not seasonal. You're going to take in consideration if you're even traveling. But the goal and objective is when you have a 90-day schedule, you create some consistency, because it's far better to plan ahead than just do it once and never do it again. Because what you want to do is build momentum, build consistency, and build a critical mass. Again, this is the ultimate guide in executing events to generate new business from your sphere of influence. If you have any questions or comments, or you need any help in executing events in your business, don't hesitate to call Tanyag Company. Our number is 757-752-8169, 752-8169, or we can be reached at info, I-N-F-O, at tanyag.net, Tanyag.net. Again, thanks for listening to this video, and I hope it was helpful. And again, I look forward to helping you double your income and grow your business while creating an ideal lifestyle. Thank you.